Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Prompt Flow, the complete guide, episode 5 of 14. Stop burying your language model prompts inside massive Python strings. When you hardcode prompts in your application logic, tracking changes, running standalone tests, and collaborating with prompt engineers becomes an absolute nightmare. The solution is the Prompty specification. A Prompty is a standard format for managing prompts. It moves your prompt out of your code and into a single version-controllable Markdown file with a .prompty extension. The file is split into two distinct sections. At the top, you have YAML front matter. At the bottom, you have a Jinja formatted prompt template. 3 dashes separate the two. The YAML block acts as the control center. You can define basic metadata like the name, description, and author. More importantly, it holds the model configuration. You specify the API type, such as chat or completion. You define the configuration details, like pointing to an Azure OpenAI deployment of GPT 3.5. You also lock in the model parameters right here. If a specific prompt requires a temperature of 0.7 and a max token limit of 1,000, you declare that in the YAML. This binds the execution settings directly to the prompt text, ensuring the prompt behaves consistently no matter where it is used. The YAML section also defines inputs and sample data. If your prompt expects a dynamic variable, you list it here and provide sample values. This makes the file entirely self-contained. Anyone opening it knows exactly what data it expects without having to reverse engineer your application code. Below the YAML and the 3 dashes lies the actual prompt template. This section uses Jinja 2 syntax to dynamically inject the inputs you defined above. Because modern language models use chat interfaces, the template supports role designations. You define roles using a simple text format, separating system instructions from user inputs. Consider a minimal chat scenario where you want a prompt that greets a user by their first name. At the top of your .prompty file, you write the YAML front matter. You define your model section, setting the API type to chat and pointing the configuration to a GPT 3.5 deployment. Next, you add an input section, declaring a variable called first name. You also add a sample block where first name is set to Jane. You type 3 dashes to end the YAML front matter. Now you build the template. You type the word system followed by a colon, then give the model its baseline instructions, like telling it to be a helpful assistant. Below that, you type the word user followed by a colon. Finally, you write the greeting, enclosing the first name variable in double curly braces so the Jinja engine knows where to inject the text. You now have a complete, reusable asset. Treating prompts as self-contained files rather than loose strings in your code is the first step toward rigorous prompt engineering because it forces a clear contract between the application providing the data and the language model generating the response. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Until next time, take it easy.